Welcome to our deep dive into Operation Gemstone, a series of covert plans with shocking implications. It was a heist, just not for jewels. It was a heist for something far more precious. American democracy. We'll wade into the murky swamp of political espionage, and trust me, it's a swamp teeming with more than just alligators. Buckle up, because we're about to go deep. Now, Operation Diamond might sound glamorous, but I assure you there's nothing sparkly about it. In fact, it's one of the darkest chapters in American political history. This operation, dreamt up in the fetid depths of the Nixon White House, involved kidnapping political protesters. These were not just any protesters, but those who dared to speak out against the administration. Yes, you heard that right. Kidnapping in America, a country that prides itself on freedom and democracy. The plan was as convoluted as it was morally bankrupt. Snatch up these undesirables, drug them, and then dump them in Mexico. Imagine the horror and confusion of those who would have been subjected to this. G. Gordon Liddy, one of the masterminds behind this scheme, referred to it as Nacht und Nebel, a term borrowed from one of the darkest periods in human history. Nacht und Nebel was a Nazi operation during World War II involving the disappearance of political opponents. It was a tactic of terror and suppression. Nixon, a man seemingly incapable of shame, actually approved this plan. His willingness to adopt such extreme measures is a testament to his desperation. That's right, the leader of the free world gave the green light to kidnap and drug his own citizens. It's almost unimaginable, yet it was very real. Thankfully, Operation Diamond never came to fruition. The plan was ultimately deemed too risky and was shelved. But the fact that it was even considered should send a chill down your spine. It shows the lengths to which those in power will go to silence dissent. It reveals a chilling truth about the lengths some were willing to go to hold on to power, a sobering reminder of the fragility of democracy and the vigilance required to protect it. Next up, we have Operation Turquoise, another gem in Nixon's crown of dirty tricks. This operation was as audacious as it was underhanded. This time, the target wasn't people, but a place. The 1972 Democratic National Convention. The stakes were high, and Nixon's team was willing to play dirty. The plan was simple: mess with the air conditioning at the convention hall. By tampering with the HVAC system, they aimed to create chaos. Make it so unbearably hot and stuffy inside that the Democrats would be forced to hold their convention in a puddle of their own sweat. The discomfort would be palpable. The hope was that the sight of wilting politicians would somehow dissuade voters from embracing their platform. A sweaty, uncomfortable crowd would be a PR disaster. Sabotaging an entire convention center's air conditioning system is no easy feat. It required meticulous planning and precise execution. Thankfully, like Operation Diamond, Operation Turquoise never saw the light of day. The plan was shelved before it could wreak havoc, but the fact that it was even considered shows the lengths to which the Nixon administration was willing to go to undermine their opponents. Their willingness to engage in such tactics is a testament to their desperation. Chapter 3, Operation Ruby Spies Like Us But Less Funny. Moving on, we arrive at Operation Ruby, which involved political espionage on a grand scale. The Nixon administration hatched a plan to infiltrate the campaigns of their Democratic rivals. They wanted eyes and ears everywhere, moles in every meeting. These weren't your suave, sophisticated James Bond types. These were more like Watergate-era Inspector Clouseaus, blundering about. The plan involved planting spies in the campaigns of the Democratic primary contenders. It was a classic case of political paranoia run amok, fueled by a belief that the ends justified any means. Operation Ruby, much like its predecessors, was a spectacular own goal, a testament to the misguided paranoia and win-at-all-costs mentality that had taken root in the Nixon administration. Chapter 4, Operation Cole, Weaponizing Cynicism. Finally, we come to Operation Cole, perhaps the most cynical and insidious of all the Operation Gemstone plots. This operation was a masterclass in political manipulation, designed to exploit the very fabric of American society. This operation wasn't about sabotage or espionage, but about manipulation. It was a strategic move to influence public opinion and voter behavior through underhanded tactics. It was about exploiting racial tensions for political gain. By deepening existing divides, the architects of Operation Cole aimed to create chaos and confusion among voters. The target of this cynical ploy was Congresswoman Shirley Chisholm, the first black woman elected to Congress and a candidate for president in 1972. Chisholm represented a beacon of hope and progress for many, making her an ideal target for such a scheme. The plan was simple: secretly fund her campaign. By doing so, they hoped to create a rift within the Democratic Party and weaken its overall chances in the election. The goal wasn't to help Chisholm win, of course. Instead, it was to use her candidacy as a tool to disrupt the political landscape. It was to bolster her campaign just enough to force the other Democratic candidates to pay attention to her, to criticize her, and in the process, disillusion black voters. This would ideally lead to lower voter turnout among a key demographic. According to Liddy, when he pitched the plan, John Mitchell, the Attorney General of the United States, simply replied, "You can forget about that. Nelson Rockefeller is already taking care of that nicely." This response highlights the casual acceptance of such unethical tactics at the highest levels of government. The Attorney General of the United States, sworn to uphold the law, casually dismissing a plan to suppress black voters because someone else was already doing it. This starkly reveals the moral bankruptcy at the heart of the administration. Operation Cole, even if it wasn't directly implemented by the Nixon administration, lays bare the cynical calculations at the heart of their political strategy. It shows a willingness to undermine democratic principles for political gain. It was a calculated attempt to suppress voter turnout within a specific demographic. This operation serves as a chilling reminder of how far some are willing to go to secure power, regardless of the ethical or moral implications. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the covert operations of Operation Gemstone. We've delved into the dark heart of American politics, where paranoia reigns supreme and dirty tricks were the name of the game. These operations, thankfully never fully realized, serve as a stark reminder of the fragility of democracy. They remind us that vigilance is not a luxury but a necessity, and that we must hold our leaders accountable. Stay tuned for more deep dives into the hidden histories that shape our world.